All right. So my name is Derek DeCosta. I'm a personal trainer, wellness coach, self-defense instructor. My former life, as you see on the paper, I was a paratrooper in the United States Army during the first Gulf War, a long time ago in 1991. After which,
How old are you?
I'm 54 and 3/4. Right? Yep. But as you know, Koreans age backwards. We Benjamin Button it. Yeah, I'm really 105, but I look fantastic. So I've been doing this for 33 years exclusively. And I was saying a moment ago that I've trained over 1,500 students in specific areas in body, mind, and spirit. So I'm going to discuss all three aspects of it today, which is important to discuss because a lot of people focus on one or the other. People sometimes meditate, but they don't work out. Sometimes people work out or they diet, but they don't know how to combine all three together. So I'm going to teach you an easy way to do that. But the most important principle that I'm going to teach you tonight is a word that I was taught many years ago, and it's my core philosophy of my program. And the word is Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word that means 1% improvement in every facet of your life. Intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. Everybody can improve by 1%. Come on in. That's okay.
It is.
That's okay.
He just finished it. Yeah.
Take two.
There might be more people.
So I was just saying, my name is Derek DeCosta. I invented the cozy thing for the hot coffee cups. No. So what I was discussing was, I wish. I wish. Right. So what I'm going to discuss tonight is going to be secrets on how to use your home, the ingredients in your cupboard right now to feel better tomorrow or even tonight, if you choose to, right? So let me go over my patented 5 fingers of fitness and health. And the analogy is, if you remember when we were kids, we had the bicycles with the spokes, okay? Think of this finger as the one spoke of the back wheel and these fingers as the one spokes of the front wheel. And then we have a seat, which I'll go over in a second. So the 5 fingers, come on in. Yeah, please. Have a seat very uncomfortably next to the camera. Yeah. All right. So on the fitness part, which would be the outside, which is what most people focus on, we have flexibility, cardiovascular fitness, strength training, core training, and then agility, which means just like coordination. Okay, I'll go over that in a second. Inside the body, we have hydration, nutrition, oxygenation, education, and meditation. So let's just go over very quickly. Number 1, flexibility, your ability to flex your body. This, in my opinion, is the most important part of fitness. And my 2 students here will testify. That's the first thing we do is flexibility. There are 3 components to flexibility. Lengthening the muscle itself, lengthening the tendons that are connected to the bones, and then releasing all the scar tissue, lactic acid, and trigger points within the body. The third one's called releasing, and that's usually typically a foam roller or a trigger ball or things, or deep tissue massage would do it, right? So if you like getting massages, full body massages twice a week, you don't need to roll out if you can afford to do that. If not, I suggest you invest in a $10 foam roller, and my videos will teach you how to do that at home, okay? Once you get rid of all the knots in the garden hose, if you will, then the water flows better. So circulation has a big factor with how flexible you are and how many trigger points, lactic acid, and toxins you flushed out to allow that circulation to be complete. So flexibility is number 1. Cardiovascular, aerobic exercise, cardio exercise. What's the difference? Aerobic exercise typically is going for a walk, and Will holds Sharon's hand, and they're married, and they're in love, and they're enjoying the view. That's aerobic, and it's very nice, it's enjoyable, and you should do that. Cardiovascular means you have to stress your heart and lungs past its normal capacity to get bigger and stronger to pump more blood and oxygen. That blood and oxygen is called glycogen, glucose oxygen. That's what supplies all the fuel to your muscles. Think of it like your sprinkler system with flexible hoses. We want to make sure those hoses are wide and not kinked. So every part of your garden gets the water that it needs. So cardiovascular fitness is different, but you don't have to do an hour of it like they used to say in the 80s. It can be 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You can accumulate it until you develop the endurance. Slowly over a long period of time. So you don't want to get into this fear mindset. I can't do an hour of running and 30 minutes of strength training and 30 minutes of stretching. I don't know. Do a minute here, 5 minutes here, 3 minutes there. It does add up. And as you get fitter and stronger, you'll find more time, okay, or you'll find a better way to do it. The third component is going to be strength training. Strength training means anything from body weight exercises to exercise bands, the rubber bands, TRX straps, dumbbells, plyometrics, any of those things. It's simply designed to increase bone density and lean muscle tissue to give you more strength for anaerobic endurance, meaning short-term endurance. Most of our lives is 3 minutes of intensity, 4 minutes of nothing. Most people, as far as I know, don't run intensely or work hard at 90% for hours and hours at a time. So anaerobic endurance, in my opinion, is more functional endurance that you can train, and realistically can do that with 3 to 5 minutes at a time. So June, you can put the chair right over here. Yeah, come on over. All right. So how you do that, you're going to see when you go to the website, and if you don't have a flyer, please grab one. On the website that I designed for sisters, you're going to see flyers and videos that will teach you every component of what I'm discussing tonight. So you don't have to remember anything if you don't want to, okay? Strength training means that you could do some push-ups against the counter for 1 minute, squats for 1 minute. You can do light band exercises for 1 minute. The tools that I suggest people to use are very inexpensive and highly portable. Meaning, the number one, there's lots of excuses, but one of the top 3 excuses is, I don't have the money for the equipment. Well, this stuff costs you from $10 to maybe $50. You can afford it. I don't have the time to go to the gym. Well, if you got the gym in your briefcase or your backpack, you don't have to worry about it. You are the gym. Excuse number 2. Excuse number 3, it's too expensive. I just told you, it's less than $100, right? So anybody can afford to splurge on themselves $100 to get themselves fitter or healthier, right? So this system, the Become Your Own Gym system, is designed for that, to make it so that it's so easy, there can be no excuses. The fourth component in the fitness is going to be core strength. And you would testify as a yoga instructor, your core strength is very important. That's because it's involved with everything that you do. But it's not just about having flat abs or six-pack abs. It really is the key part of your digestion as well as your health and your fitness. Without good core strength, you're not going to be able to ambulate your digestive system properly the way it's supposed to work. And last is agility or coordination. And that's got to do with if you play tennis, if you golf, if you're hiking, biking, whatever thing with an ing that you like to do, that's going to get better if you have these other 4 components developed. Inside the body is our health. Number 1 is hydration, water. By a raise of hands, who drinks a gallon of water a day? All right, star for you. I got one back here. All right, good for you. All right.
Well, I don't measure it, but I drink
a lot of water. Okay. So our body is 75 to 85% water, no matter what part of the body you're talking about. So we need water to hydrate the cells to function at their best. But most important, water is the key component for electromagnetic energy to travel through the body. In our body, we have 50 trillion cells. Think of it like little battery cells, right? And you know, if you go buy batteries, they say this is alkaline batteries, Duracell, alkaline batteries. And if they get a little corrosion on top, it's acidic, it's no good, right? But that's the same thing in your body. But you've got 50 trillion of them. And they have to be alkaline. So water is the key component to that. But alkaline water and acidic water, what's the difference? The pH level determines that. Most bottled waters, with the exception of one that I know, is acidic. And most bottled waters are made by Pepsi and Coke that use sewage plants and clean the water and chlorinize it and then put it into a container and then add back in vitamins into a plastic bottle, right? So we all know it's not the best thing for us, but it's so convenient. So I say to people, the easiest way to get alkaline water is take water, use a pitcher filter. Once you get it in there, lemons, limes, and cucumbers. Any spa in the world that you go to, you pay hundreds of dollars and you get a facial. What's the first thing they do? Cucumbers in your face and give you water with lemons and limes. Because it's alkaline. It's going to get rid of the inflammation. And that's what you want to do, right? The most effective way, though, to become alkaline with water is get organic baking soda without aluminum. Take 1 teaspoon into 12 ounces of water, stir it up, and drink that down. That will make your body instantaneously alkaline. And you'll feel better, you'll have more mental clarity, more energy. And here's why.
You said baking soda?
Organic baking soda without aluminum. Red Mill is the brand I recommend. Okay? It's very cheap. You only need a teaspoon a day. Don't do more is not better. A teaspoon.
in how much?
12 ounces. Yep. Stir it up.
And then you could just drink. Can you
You can just drink it down.
Write all this down.
The rest of the day.
This is all on the website. Okay. If you don't want to taste the baking soda after you stir it, let it sit for about 15 minutes. When the glass becomes clear, you won't taste anything. You just drink it down. Okay. If you feel logy middle of the day, have another glass. What you don't want to do is wake up in the morning, go to Dunkin' Donuts and get your big coffee with cream and sugar, drink that down. 3 hours later, I need more, right? Because what you're getting is an insulin spike, an artificial energy. It's not energy at all. You're getting stimulated from the caffeine and the sugar, right? And then you're getting dehydrated because caffeine's a poison and your body's trying to get rid of it. That's why you pee so much when you drink coffee, alcohol, beer, things like this. It's a diuretic. It gets rid of the hydration. So the reason why you want to drink alkaline water is when you have regular bottled water, let's say, let me name a brand, Aquafina or Dasani or any of those things. It is acidic. Here's why it's a problem, Poland Spring. Here's why it's a problem. Your body releases something called ADH, anti-diuretic hormone. That is what's like insulin for water. It pulls it into your cells. It will not release the ADH if the water is acidic. That's why you drink it and you pee almost instantly, right? So when you have alkaline water, you need less of it, and the ADH will be released and it'll pull it into the cells of your body. So again, the easiest way is lemons, limes, cucumbers, or baking soda. Okay. All right. Next thing, oxygenation. Oh, sorry, skip one. Nutrition. Nutrition. Everybody wants to eat healthy, and they tell you to eat fruits and vegetables, right? It's good. But then you go to the grocery store and you get the fruits and vegetables and you eat it and you feel a little funny. That's because those fruits and vegetables have pesticides in them. Usually glyphosate, which is Roundup. When you kill the weeds, that's what that is. Okay. So all production farms, when I say production farms, I mean these giant farms that produce vegetables and fruits. They have to preserve the fruits and vegetables to ship it, store it, sell it. By the time you get it, it's 2 months old, right? Actual fruit would spoil within a week or two. So it's to their benefit to use the preservatives so that it lasts longer. Downside for us is the actual nutritional value decreases because when your body eats something that has poison, it rejects it. Secondly, the soil that it's grown in is not nutritious because it's called a monoculture farm. They only grow one product. The soil gets depleted. So the quality of the soil determines the quality of the food. This is why people like to drink wine from California, because the soil is very rich there. Wine's delicious. Or whatever you, So whatever you eat. If you've ever been to a resort or a spa and they have organic vegetables that they grew in the garden, and you eat that salad, somehow you feel better with that salad than the one you bought at Shaw's. It's still the same vegetables, same ingredients. What's the difference? No pesticides, no chemicals. And the fruits and vegetables are high in actual micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, enzymes, phytonutrients, and life force. The closer you get to the farm that the vegetable or fruit was grown in, and the shortest amount of time when it was plucked before you eat it, it has the highest content of electromagnetic energy. And I just told you a moment ago, you are nothing but 50 trillion batteries that need to be plugged in and charged. So when you have high vibration food or high life quality or life force food, you actually increase the energy in your body. So it's not the calories. It's the life force, the micronutrients in the food. And this can be a long discussion just in the food itself, but I just want you to understand that. So the rule of thumb is the closer to the stem before it was pecked, before you eat it, the better for your system. The longer the duration, the worse it is, even if it's organic. But obviously you want organic. And if you know somebody that's a farmer and this guy has a farm where he grows all the vegetables and the cows and the chickens and the pigs eat the grass or the vegetables and they use the manure to fertilize the plants. If you know somebody like that, if he's single, marry that guy, right? Because that's the kind of food that you want to have. We are very lucky. We have family that live in Wenham and there's a farm there that does that. So we get all of our meats and chickens and vegetables from there. And we try to stock up for a good 3 to 4 weeks. And my family doesn't know I only go visit them just to go to the farm, right? Because I feel amazing when you eat that kind of food, right? So that's what you want to be careful of. Whenever you have a fork on a plate, there's a fork in the road, meaning if you go to a restaurant, if you're on a resort, you have a decision. There's good and there's better, right? You have to be intelligent enough to understand and ask. A good restaurant won't be bothered if you say, Where's this food from? How did you grow it? Where did you source it from? They'll be proud to tell you. It's from a local fishery. We have a farm backyard, and that guy grows his own eggs, and they'll tell you right away, right? And you can taste the difference. So you want high vibration, high energy food, locally sourced if possible. If not, and you only have 5 seconds and you're at a Cumberland Farms at a rest area, make the best choice that you can of the worst, if you will, right? Come on in.
Sorry.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
guess.
Yeah. We're at the meat raffle section, so you need to grab a ticket. All right. So the long and the short of it is, I was telling Paula before you guys got here, my family has an egg dealer. So we have my wife's friend has chickens, and so we get 3 dozen eggs a week. I eat about 2 dozen almost every week. Eggs are the best quality protein for your body, period, if it's organic and local.
How's your cholesterol? Is that
It's
a farce?
fantastic. The cholesterol in the egg is great for your bones. It's great for your cartilage. It's good for your muscles. It's also very, very important for vitamin D3 production. So I'll just go over that now. In meats and eggs, there's the yolk, or let's say the fat. You actually need that fat, lots of it. When you ingest that cholesterol and you have sunlight, that is going to be converted to vitamin D3. D3 is going to be the UPS driver that delivers all the goodies to all the parts of your body. Without the driver, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter what you eat, right? So a lot of people will take not artificial, but man-made D3, and that's okay. But a better source is actual sunlight. 10 to 15 minutes, face, wrist, face, neck, and hands. That's all you need, right? Unless you're at a beach or something like that. Also, the sunlight is great because it has electromagnetic energy or software downloads for your DNA. So sun gazing, if you've heard of that, looking at the sun is not bad for you. Being in the sun is not bad for you. Having your feet on the grass is very good for you. That's called earthing, picking up the frequency of the planet, called the Schumann resonance, or the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And so when people go on vacation, as I made a joke earlier, no one goes to the Bronx in New York and gets an apartment and stays for a week. Everybody goes to the Caribbean or Alaska or somewhere near nature, because you know innately that's what you need is nature, right? So nature does heal. So you want to get that frequency whenever possible. And you won't get sunburns from the sun if you don't use excessive sunscreens. Sunscreens, most of them, I would say 9 out of 10, maybe 80, 90 out of 100, whatever it is. They're filled with chemicals and heavy metals that actually cause your skin to burn and is the root cause of most skin cancers. So eliminating heavy metals out of our system, or doing a heavy metal detox, is a good idea to do. And the easiest way to do that is get a bathtub, fill it up, get the organic baking soda I just told you about, get a whole cup of it, put it in there, get some Epsom salt, put that in there, and then get hydrogen peroxide you can buy for $1. Put a half a bottle in there, mix it all up, make sure it's nice and hot, soak into it for 30, 40 minutes. That'll leach out a lot of toxins. If you do that once or twice a month, it's a good way to detoxify your body naturally, okay? All right, so nutrition. This could, again, I'm gonna go off of that because this could be a 5-hour subject. So we're just gonna move on to that, okay? But the main thing I want you to get out of this, don't be afraid of eggs, don't be afraid of fat. Grass-fed, grass-finished animal proteins, good for you. Local fish, good for you. So that whole food pyramid, thankfully, it's been inverted and changed properly. So I like that a lot, but I've been talking about this for about 15 years, this subject, saying, no, I disagree with that. And while I'm on the subject, salt, because you mentioned blood pressure, I think? Right?
No,
Cholesterol, okay. So same thing. I'm going to go over the same idea. Don't use salt. Don't use salt. Well, I agree if you're talking about Morton's table salt versus Celtic sea salt. And here's the difference. Celtic sea salt, because it's harvested naturally from the ocean, there's 84 potential minerals that your body needs. Celtic sea salt has 72 of the 84. And that's what your body's made of: minerals, vitamins, amino acids, enzymes, okay? So that's, you need that. So sodium is not bad for you. The reason why salt is bad for you, table salt is filled with salt, that's not from the sea, and it's also got glass and silica, or sand and silica. So the glass cuts the arterial lining in your body, then cholesterol is released to coagulate that cut. And that's where you get the high cholesterol and the high blood pressure. So don't eliminate salt, just replace the table salt and get the Celtic sea salt. Himalayan salt is like a second best. Yes.
The Himalayan pink salt.
That's good. I would say Celtic is better.
Does it have to say Celtic on it? The sea salt?
Yeah.
You can find sea salt all over.
Yeah, why do you spell Celtic?
Why? Because that part of the ocean,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
that part of the ocean is more dense in nutrients and plant life. So you're
Where
gonna,
do you get that?
you can get it. Like you can get it at Amazon, Whole Foods. We get it through Amazon. So I'll just buy 4 big bags. And we put it on everything. Okay, and my blood pressure is nice and low. And by the way, talking about that, in 1971, when I was born, the average blood pressure that you could have and not go to a doctor for was 165/95. It's been lowered every decade, lowered and lowered and lowered to sell you more drugs.
Same with the cholesterol.
Same thing with the cholesterol. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but the lifespan was much younger back then.
well, I'm going to disagree because there are key points on the planet. It's called the blue zones on the planet. Okay, and people live to 110, 115 years old, and they die because the parts get old. Okay, the Amish is considered one of the blue zones, right? They use plenty of salt, but they use sea salt. They don't use more than table salt. So that's a good way to kind of judge your life. I can't grow a beard. I don't want to wear the funny hat, but the Amish got it down. They figured it out. Okay, they do. They got it down. There's no disease. There's no diabetes. There's no autism. There's no Parkinson's. There's no Alzheimer's. There's no cancers. So either they're really, really lucky or they're doing something right. Okay?
Isn't that China too?
No, not all of China, but in the mountains of China towards Mongolia, that's true. Same thing in Korea. There's parts of Korea where I'm from, right?
So you're talking about the blue zone.
Well, I know from personal experience. I was there till I was about 5.5 years old. There's an island called Jeju Island. It's a volcanic island. And a lot of people who live long periods of time live on mountainsides or volcanic areas because the soil is rich. And they're constantly climbing up and down the mountain, being in nature, getting exercise, fresh air, sunshine, eating what they grow, drinking the river water. So moving water is better for you. The best kind of water is fresh spring water that's moving because it has life force.
Didn't they used to like dig holes if somebody was sick and like lay them in the dirt a little bit to help them get the grounding to get rid of sickness?
Yeah, you can do that, and certainly I think it's a good idea. Every chance you get, take your rubber shoes off and put your feet on the grass or the sand. And so what we were discussing earlier is called a Schumann resonance. So the Mother Earth has a frequency, it's a pulse.
Yeah.
It's 7.63 hertz per cycle. When we are at a neutral point, we imitate Mother Earth's heartbeat. So it's like being when you have if you have kids, when you swaddle them and you hold them tight and they calm down. It's the same thing with when you're earthing or you're touching a tree, like tree hugging. I used to think when I was younger, like that's weird, but there's something to that, right? Right.
Tree hugger.
Right. So hug some trees while looking at the sunshine and drinking the baking soda water, and you'll be all set. Okay. All right. So the last two components, and this is the most important parts, is going to be. So I said oxygenation was the next one, right? Oxygenation means how you breathe, and you go, oh, I breathe all day long. I'm like, no, actually you don't. You're survival breathing all day long. You're not actually doing wellness breathing. There's a difference. So a lot of people don't realize that most of life is one dopamine rush after another, one stressful situation, another text message, my kid needs that, my husband needs this, and somebody called that. So you're in this fight or flight state for a minute, 30 seconds, all day long. You only have two states you can be in. Sympathetic, which is fight or flight, and parasympathetic, which means you're healing, you're safe in the cave, and you're okay. We're supposed to be this 90% of the time. 10% survive, get away from your in-laws. 90% over here, okay? But it's been inverted. It's this now. With social media, the internet, neighbors, your friends, your family, your work, driving your kids from here to there, paying your bills. 90% of the time, you're at a low level of anxiety. During that time, your body sends a signal saying, adrenaline, cortisol, store more fat because we need to survive. That's a survival thing. The reason why people get a lot of fat is they're in constant fight or flight. They have no choice but to store body fat instead of burning it, right? Because the body's saying, I may not get food again. I'm in fight or flight. I'm shortening it, but the long and the short of it is that when you do meditative breathing, you're going to change the frequency of your brain. So you have 4 frequencies. You have alpha, beta, theta, and delta. And they say there's a gamma, but I'm not quite sure. But the ones we're discussing is this. Most of the day, you're in beta. So problems, right? And then if you're watching a movie you've already seen 20 times, you're in alpha. You're kind of like zoning out, right? And right before you fall asleep, you're in theta, where your conscious monkey mind shuts down and you go, oh, Calgon, take me away. And it's kind of sinking in. And then when you're dead asleep, you could be in delta. That's the dream state, right? So meditation basically is your attempt to get out of the problem-solving, card ducking, bill paying, phone answering into that, I just got to the resort, my feet's in the sand, they just handed me a drink, and I threw my phone in the ocean, right? So that's called meditation, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. So wellness breathing simply means this. Sit up. Get that spine straight, shoulders back. Breathe in through your nose. Don't have violent thoughts about murdering people. Slowly breathe out. Do that 10 times. So count to 10. Your mother used to tell you that if you're upset, count to 10. Like, no, that'll just make you have 10 seconds of violent thoughts. It can physiologically change your brain frequency. Your consciousness will change and your thought process will change. So when you're doing exercising like aerobic walking and you're breathing nature, sunshine, fresh air, feeling the frequency of the trees and the birds and the bees, during that time, that physical motion is lotion for your body, releasing the hormones that make you feel good, the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin. All those things only will be released with the proper motion, as the yoga instructor will testify. This is the whole point of yoga, right? It's energy. It's getting the whole body back to the innate cycle that you were meant to be 90% of the time. So the next part is going to be education. So this is the fourth part. Education means not formal education, getting degrees at schools. Education means learning about the thing that's important to you. The top 3 things that I think are important to you is personal communication. How do you talk to yourself and those people around you? Because that's going to be a majority of what you think about. People don't understand that when they're watching reality TV or social media, they're getting all this information they have no choice but to think about for the next 5, 10 minutes or an hour. So if I said to all of you, do not, whatever you do, think of the color green or the number 17. There's no choice. So you can't unhear and unsee something. So the education means you have to be very mindful of what you use as food for thought. Meaning, don't just abstractly turn the channel on and watch whatever's on. Pick and choose things that make you laugh, things that make you think, things that make you empowered, things that make you better as a human being. So I watch no TV. None. I used to. I used to have a schedule on Tuesday, Wednesday, the whole thing, right? I did, right? And I'm like, I wonder why I'm so anxious and stressed out. I can't believe it. Right?
Is there a reason why I get anxiety
Yep.
a lot.
Mm.
So if I go to like the doctors or anything like that, waiting in the waiting room or waiting for them to
Oh
come in,
yeah, that's the
I
perfect.
have very high anxiety, so I bring my book. It's the only thing that takes me to that right state where I'm not, like, I will like pass out because I get that nervous over nothing.
Well,
Waiting
waiting room, I love waiting rooms because I don't go to doctors either. So, but when I used to go when I was younger, what do? You have a doctor's appointment to check your what? Stick something there and pull something there, and you got to go. And then you go. I'm like, all right. So you get in there, you fill out the paperwork, you sit in a little waiting room. And what do they have? TVs on. CNN, Fox, MSNBC. The world's ending. That other side's killing you. You got to do this, right? Then you go, oh, God, right? Someone's coughing and hacking and someone's snotting. You're going, oh. So then you go from the little waiting room into the other waiting room. Okay, we're going to take your blood pressure now. I'm like, wait a second. I'm stressed out about that guy in that other room where I just saw on the news and what the doctor said he's going to do to me in 2 minutes from now, right? So, of course, my blood pressure is going to be high. So a better thing to do is when you go to the doctors is get out of the car, put your phone in there, walk around the parking lot. If you can find something in nature, just go for a walk, 5-10 minutes, right? Whatever your appointment is, get there right on the tick. Yeah. Sign in. Is there a long wait? Yeah. Okay, great. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Leave again. One of the things that I do when I go out at restaurants, my pet peeve is I go there and there'll be, CNN or Fox or MSNBC playing. And I go, excuse me, I'm a professional golfer. I like to watch the Golf Channel. Or I'm an amateur golfer. I love the golf. I don't play golf, right? But golf is benign. It's a bunch of guys I don't know in nature hitting a ball. Who cares what they do or don't do? But it's kind of peaceful looking, right? So I fool them into change to the Golf Channel or the Food Network or something like that, right? Because I'm not going to be anxious and stressed out watching the news that I cannot change. So it's very important. The education part means books, audios, videos. These are important components, food for thought. You have 100% control what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, and who you speak to for the most part. That controls what's called the reticular activating system. In your brain, you have an eye that you're not aware of. I'm not talking about the pineal gland, the third eye. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an eye that only finds things that's important to you, Paula, or to you, Will, specifically, right? And that you front load when you go to the drive-thru at Dunkin' Donuts or wherever, because I haven't been through it in a long time. You drive up, and let's say this is the drive-thru of life, and you go, what can I get you? I'd like more bills to pay, more stress, and if my husband could irritate me a little bit more, I really appreciate that. Drive around, you drive around, here you go, you drive through. And you go, well, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, but that's what you thought about constantly. And you're attracting that into your life, and you can only see that when that happens. For example, anybody here ever lost their car keys? Raise your hand. Or house keys, or any keys of any kind. And you couldn't find them. Can't find my keys. I can't find my keys. Where are my goddamn keys? What'd you do with my keys, honey? I know you took them. Where's my keys? And you run around in a circle, and you're running late for your thing. You go, I give up. Please, God, help me find my keys. And you look to your left, and it's right there. And you look there 3 times. Why didn't you see them? Your brain will never turn your body into a liar. If you said 15 times, I can't find my keys, with determination, the eyes cannot see it. So you're self-hypnotizing yourself to only find the things that you want or don't want. It doesn't make a difference. Your brain doesn't know the difference, right? So this is why it's so important to front load. In the morning, I pray every morning, and we pray about our gratitude, about our family, our friends, our clients, our neighbors. And then we also talk about all the love and abundance, everything that we have. It takes 15 minutes to this abundance prayer. Now I have no choice but to feel like I have so much for the rest of the day. And then I pray about how I can serve people around me and how I can help people find more freedom in their life. And please, God, thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity to serve my community and so on and so forth. But because I said that, now I have no choice but to find it. For example, who here has ever bought a new car? Everybody, right? Right? A brand that you didn't buy before. Let's say you were a Ford girl, but one day you bought a Lexus, or something like that, right? Different brand, different color, right? As soon as you bought that car, that was a different color, different brand. You saw that car everywhere. Because your brain said, this is important to me now. Reticular activating system. Okay? So you have this power to find goodness because there's goodness everywhere. There's health, there's happiness, there's joy everywhere. But if you're searching for what's wrong with people, you're going to find that too. And what's wrong with my life, you're going to find that too. Your brain will serve its master. And your body will go towards what's wrong or what's right. It's called an incantation or incantation. That's why they call it spelling, because you're casting a spell on yourself. And it sounds like a little woo-woo, but it's real. It's a real science. And they call this epigenetics, meaning what you think about, you bring about within your body. So disease is dis-ease. I have one of my best friends, every time I call him, hey man, how you doing? I say, how you doing? I'm doing great. Oh, my knees, my back, my hips, my neck, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow. That's a lot from the last time. Oh, yeah, my doctor said, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, yeah. Well, if you go see your doctor every week, you're going to find something wrong. You go to the mechanic, they're going to find something wrong with your car. Well, I have to go. No, you don't. What I suggest you do is if you're doing all the right things that I just discussed a moment ago, all the 5 fingers and all the 5 fingers over here. I'll do one more, last one. And you have the 3 key principles for support. This is the most important part, the 3 principles for support. So the education part is what you listen to, what you watch, and what you talk about. The last part is meditation. Meditation means shutting off the monkey mind and going into no mind. So, well, how do you meditate? Do I have to buy special clothes to get into this position and buy a yoga block? I'm like, no, you don't. Do I need to go into nature and touch a panda? Like, no, you don't. What do I do? Just sit. Sit up straight and breathe. Find something in the room. Let's say, for the example, for tonight, it's that lit tree. I focus on one light. Not all, just one light, or maybe with that one heart. I just look at that one light and breathe. and relax. But you got bills to pay. Keep breathing. Okay? Your wife wants you to do something. Keep breathing. She'll wait. Okay? The phone's ringing. No, it's not. I threw it into the water. Right? And you keep breathing. That's meditation? Yes. Initially it is, because you're going to have all these random thoughts coming up because your monkey mind hasn't quite shut down yet. So it may take you 5 or 10 minutes to get to the state where all of a sudden you go, where am I? What's going on? Because you got so focused on looking at that ripple of water or that leaf or that light or the star or whatever it may be. That's the easiest way to get into meditation. Get into that theta state for 5 minutes, 1 minute. You can extend that to up to 20 minutes. When you do that, your body recalibrates, it resets, it starts to heal again. Okay? So meditation is important. You cannot meditate, however, while you're driving a car, avoiding wrecking into another car. That is not the time to do it. Okay? Unless you're the passenger in a limousine or something with a moonroof down or something like that, then you can do that. Okay? All right, so those are the 5 components of health. The 3 keys, so that's one bicycle wheel, and this is the other bicycle wheel. In the middle, you have the seat. The seat is with the stability, the support system. How are you going to get to where you're going? The weight you're going to put onto that seat, right? The seat is made up of 3 things: mentors, medias, teammates. That means if you want to be successful in finance, you don't go ask the poor guy that has no money, right? If you want to be successful in relationship, you see that woman that she's been in love with her husband for 40 years. You talk to her. If you want to get fit and healthy, you don't talk to the guy with a pot belly drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette. You talk to the guy or girl that's fit, healthy, and happy, right? So you got to find the right mentor. That mentor can be a real person. It can be someone that you see online that has videos or programs that you can follow. It can be a book that you read with a mentor in it. My suggestion is find a real life mentor, because you create what's called social proof by imitating that person. You also paint yourself into a positive corner because you're saying, I'd like you to mentor me. And then he or she says, okay, on one condition, you check in with me once a week, tell me how you're doing. Oh, I actually don't want to get wealthy or fit or thin. I just was talking about it because it sounds nice, right? So it creates positive peer pressure when you have a mentor, because they're expecting good things coming from you, right? And they're probably going to call you, or the way I do with my students, I stalk them in my car, I follow them around in the grocery stores, right? So a mentor is important. Number 2 is medias: books, videos, audios. I mentioned that earlier, but this is important to mention again. Books, videos, and audio programs never have a bad day. They never call out sick. They never had a rough time with their partner or spouse. They didn't just have a car accident. They don't care. They give you the same information every single time. So you want to buy books, videos, or audios by people who have struggled with what you struggled, have found a recipe to succeed, and have verified it by getting 400, 500 other people who have done the same thing and qualified that, right? So there are lots of books on how to make money. Some of these books on how to make money are by guys who are dead broke trying to sell books to make money, right? So if I'm going to make money, I'm going to talk to, Tony Robbins or Elon Musk or somebody like that that's got lots of money. I happen to have one of my best friends is very, very wealthy. So I talk to him on a regular basis about money, and he always yells at me because I'm not doing the right thing, right? But he has good advice, and he's saying to me, hey, listen, man, there's no easy shortcut. I'm his personal trainer, by the way. And I've told him the same thing. There's no shortcut, man. You got to do the work. He's like, well, I'm giving you the same advice back. There's no shortcut. You got to make investments. It's a long-term thing. And you got to save, and you can't overspend. And there's a simple formula. How to get fit, how to get wealthy, or how to get fat, and how to get poor, there's a recipe. If you really ask the people who are fat and poor, they're doing specific things. If you ask people who are fit and wealthy, they're doing specific things, right? It's not a mystery. You just have to be willing to do those things for long enough where you have momentum and you have competence. You're good at those 5 fingers and the 5 fingers. Competence or skills increase confidence. Confidence adds more wind in your sail of success. But if you expect to buy a pill or cream or a lotion or one video and your life is changed forever, you're fooling yourself. That doesn't exist, which is what I'm going to talk about next. Ozempic, I'm going to talk about that in a second. So the last part is teammates. Teammates, this is the most important part. Teammates are actual people. They're your friends, they're your family, they're your friends who you consider more like your family. I have lots of those because I don't have biological family, right? I was an orphan. I was adopted, so I have no biological family. So all my family are, it's funny because every time we take a family photo, it comes back out. It looks like I photobombed a family of white people. Right? So one time I was in front of my house and it's Thanksgiving. And I had my whole family outside and I got the iPad and went to take a photo. I'm like, all right, everybody, cheese. And a new family had just moved in. These two Filipino girls had just moved into my neighborhood. And they're walking by. And so a week later, I meet them. Hi, I'm Derek. New neighbors, I'm Kristen. I'm Ashley. And I said, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, you're Asian. I said, yeah, I'm Korean. Oh, we're Filipino. And they go, yeah. Can we ask you a question? I said, yeah, what's the question? Last week, we saw you with a bunch of white people in the yard. Who are those people? I was like, oh, that's my family. You've been adopting us for so long. I adopted a whole white family. That's what I did, right? But yeah, so family or friends who are like family are actually more powerful because those people you tend to have a different kind of love and respect for. Sometimes with biological family, you have no fear that they're not going to not love you. They may not like you, but they're always going to love you. But with friends that are like family, it's different. You got to earn that love. You got to maintain that love. So you don't want to let them down. So that's called accountability. And that's why that third part, teammates, is so important. You want to surround yourself with people who are in the attempt and succeeding at getting what you want. He's getting richer. She's getting fitter. She's getting more in love. They already kind of have the thing that you want. What you don't want to do is invite your cousin who is unhappy, unfit, miserable, unemployed, smokes cigarettes, and watches TV 5 hours a day. Hey, you want to start working out? No, because now you're going to drag that anchor as you're trying to cross the ocean, right? So you want to pick the right teammates. Very important. So with Kikfit, we are a team. Whether it's Zoom fitness or personal training or whatever it may be, we're doing it together, right? And that's an important concept. You will always, unless you're a little off, you will always do more for the people you care about than you will do for yourself. So on a priority list, there's somebody that I know intimately that I was so happy when she moved herself up from number 10. Now she's number 2. I keep trying to tell her that she should be number 1, so we're going to have a little fight with that, but I'm convinced that I can win this because it's very important that if you are not healthy, if you are not fit, if you are not filled with abundance and energy, you cannot be a good mother, wife, sister, friend. You just can't. And then when someone asks you to do something, you feel like, oh, you're draining me, you're taking everything from me. These are called energy vampires. You've heard this term? People hang out with you and they suck the life out of you because it's nonstop problems and complaining and bitching and griping. And you're like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. And it's actually real. There's an energy that you have. It's called your aura. Okay, you have a spiritual body inside of you. It's called your chakras. And think of it like circuit breakers in your house. You have 7 of them. They all supply different parts of your body. Okay? If you are hanging out with people who are just Debbie Downers and negative, they will suck all the battery out of you, drain you down to 1 bar. They go, well, nice to see you again, Derek. I'll see you next week. I'm like, no, you won't. Changing my locks, right? I'm on to you, man. So that's why there's certain people, when you're around them, you go, I just feel so good being around Paula or somebody else, right? She's just so happy. I love it because like attracts like. So electromagnetically, when you take 2 magnets in opposite polarity, they push away. But when they're the same, glued together. Listen to your intuition, your internal tutor. It's telling you something. When you meet somebody and you feel awful and icky, your gut is telling you something. So there's a brain in your gut, there's a brain in your heart, and there's a brain in your head. You have 3 brains. The one that's most powerful is the one in your heart. And I mean that literally. There's actual brain cells in your heart. Okay? And you have a connection with all 3. So you said, I got my gut instinct, or my heart told me to do this, and my mind said whatever, right? You have this conflict. So the real conflict is that your mind is different than your brain. Your brain stores all the information you've ever seen, right? So when you go buy a car, what do? You go online, you search all the cars and the prices and this and do that, blah, 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 and then you go. And I'm telling the guy, it's going to pay this and no more, not a dime more. I'm telling him this time he's not going to screw me over, right? Then you get to the car dealership. Give it a cup of coffee, walk you around. Why don't you sit in the car, smell the leather, touch it. Is that nice? Let's go for a drive. What's your favorite music? Oh, yeah. You going on vacation? I want to buy a car. We're not going to buy a car today. We're just going to talk. And by the time you get done with the whole ordeal, you feel so good, all the logic leaves your brain, and you buy this $60,000 car that you were willing to pay $45,000 for, right? So what I'm saying to you is, at some points in your life, when you've had a relationship in particular, right, man or woman, depending on the person, and you meet this man or woman, and you don't even know them, but something about them, you're like, oh my God, I just feel so good being around this person. And that woman becomes your best friend, or the man becomes your husband, or whatever it may be. But then you meet that man or woman, you go, ooh, they look nice, but I feel like I want to run out of this building. I don't know what it is. It's the energy that they're exuding out of them. So there's a sixth sense people talk about. You have the five senses: your sight, your hearing, your taste, your smell, your touch, right? But the sixth sense is your intuition, the field of energy around you. In your aura, the healthier you are, the wider your aura is. And the wider the aura is, the more you can pick up on people that are good for you, people not so good for you. And here's the good news. This is how you get rid of your in-laws. I'm finally going to get down to it, right? I always tell people that I'm obnoxiously optimistic. And not just as in, I'm good enough, I'm happy enough. That's not what I mean. I am vibrating at the highest frequency possible most of the time. What happens is, remember the thing, reticular activity system I told you about, right? You find the thing that you're looking for. Negative people want other negative people to validate their negativity, right? And when they get close to another negative person, oh, my best friend, let's complain about Derek together. Great, come on over here, right? When they're around somebody that's exuding an aura of love, happiness, joy, freedom, they can be there temporarily and vacuum some of the energy. But after a while, if that energy was never ending, mushrooms die in the sun, right? If you're the sun, eventually that mushroom's going to have to move to a wet, dampy area to survive. They'll find something else that's dark. They'll leave you, right? So you don't have to get rid of them. You just have to be literally happy, healthy, and free intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. And really do that on a daily basis. And again, we're going to go back to what I said in the beginning. Kaizen, 1%. So I was in an elevator on a cruise ship, and I'm going up, and I tell everybody when on a cruise ship, I sell life insurance. Hey, would you like to buy some more? And they leave me alone, right? Because I just want to be on vacation. But somehow it slipped out that I'm a personal trainer, wellness coach, or whatever. So I'm in the elevator. Maybe it was because I was coming back from the gym. So I'm in the elevator, and the guy goes, "Yeah, it looks like you work out. You're pretty fit." I said, "Yeah, I just started yesterday, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good." And he's like, "Okay, so give me a tip. What can I do?" And this guy's got, he's got the belly where you can put the 2 beers on top, right? But he's wearing a skinny tank top and very short shorts. It was very awkward. So we're in the elevator. He goes, "Can you give me a tip?" I said, "Sure." "Want an easy tip or a hard tip?" He goes, "I want an easy tip." I said, "Do you drink water?" He goes, "I drink beer." I said, "Well, do you drink water?" "No." I said, "Well, drink a glass of water." "A glass of water?" I said, "Yeah." "I'll be fit and healthy if I drink a glass of water?" I said, "Yeah, you'll be healthier. You'll be slightly fitter, right?" He goes, "Well, what else do I have to do?" "Well, then tomorrow drink 2 glasses of water, and then 3, and then all the way up to 8 or 10 or 12 glasses of water." And he said, "That's it?" I said, "That's it for now. Next year on the cruise, find me again. I'll give you another tip," right? And what I meant by that as a joke is you can't take the whole kitchen sink on. Can't do that. You don't want the fire hydrant. You want the IV drops. Drip, drip, drip. And slowly walk your way into the pool. When you were little kids, who knows how to swim? Okay, great. When you were little kids, did your father or mother go, what's your name, miss?
Kathy.
Kathy, come over here, Kathy. Oh, I love you, Kathy. Oh, you're my sweetheart, my angel. Here you go. Good luck, Kathy. Good luck. Right? That didn't happen. You got the waders, the floaties. Daddy took you in just to feel the water and slowly over a long period of time. Right? And that is how you learn anything that you want to retain. You cannot start with fear. You have to start with success. You have to make the success so small that it's ridiculous that you wouldn't do it. Who wouldn't drink 1 glass of water? Who wouldn't stretch for 1 minute tomorrow? Who wouldn't go walk 1 block outside? It's crazy, right? So Kaizen, 1% improvement over a very long period of time with positive peer pressure using mentors, medias, and teammates with a specific goal that you're passionate and driven towards achieving. And that goal is this. Who's married or was married? Everybody. Okay, great. When you met your husband in college or after high school or whatever it was, first time you saw him, did you see him from across the room or the bar or the dance floor and you go, "I'm going to pay the hell out of some bills with that guy. Yeah, I'm going remortgage my house, right? I'm going to buy expensive cars and get credit cards and fill them with debt while we raise our kids and have no time to sleep, right? You didn't say that. You said, I'm going to fall in love. There's going to be passion, adventure, excitement, all this stuff. You had all these ideas, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have done it. Very few. I know one guy personally that did it the other way. He went into it and said, I'm going to pay bills. I want responsibility. I want headaches. It's a little weird, but 99.99% of people in relationships that get involved with, they want more freedom, happiness, joy. That's it. Okay? So I'm saying to you, the person that you married first was you. Why aren't you providing happiness, joy, and freedom into your life? Answer, I don't know how. I've tried everything. Really? What have you tried? Well, I tried this one thing, it didn't work, and I gave up. What else have you tried? Well, I read this book, or I saw this article, I saw this advertisement. How about if you find the guy or girl that has done it, gotten what you want, got the t-shirt, and can give you the secrets and break it down for you, and you just do it incrementally over a long period of time. And don't expect to have results in 24 hours. Exception of the baking soda water. That'll work instantly, okay? All right, so that is my nutshell abbreviation of the Become Your Own Gym system. So on the website, on the flyer that you see, which is free, kikfit.com/sisters, there's a whole video playlist. I believe there's 84 videos. Each of them is on stretching, nutrition, hydration, motivation, strength training with bands, with TRX, using your stairs. Okay, one last analogy. I use an anchoring system with the reticular activating system, right? You see all these cars. So anywhere in the world, is anybody from a different country in the world? Where are you from?
I'm from Portugal.
Portugal, all right, great. Because you know I'm half Portuguese, so Portugal, I got you. So Portugal, if you go to Portugal, who's been to Portugal? Okay, some of you have not. Who's been to Korea?
I have.
You say no. So no one's been to Korea, but yet if you go to Korea tomorrow, and I haven't been since I was 5 years old, you're gonna see every street's gonna have these red octagon signs with this weird scribble on it. What does that red octagon sign mean?
Stop.
Right. Anywhere in the world, they use the same symbol for stop. Green means go, red means stop. So I have a system to set up so that you say every time you see a chair, you do this stretch. Every time you see a door frame, you do this stretch. Every time you go on a stairway, you put your leg up and do this stretch. So those are symbols to take you into action, saying, I'm just going to do this one stretch on the stairs. I can't go up the stairs. I already saw the stairs. I got to stop. Police are coming. I got to stretch, right? So same kind of idea. You hardwire that into your nervous system. So when you see the stairs, you got nothing to do for 30 seconds, stretch. At the chair, hold the chair, do this stretch. On the door frame, do this stretch. And that's going to allow you to get an accumulation of stretches throughout the day. And when you feel better, you'll be motivated to go for a walk. And you go, well, I'm going to go for a 10-mile run. Wait a second. What was the last one you did? 30 years ago when I was 15 years old. Okay. How about we go for a half-a-mile walk? That's it. That's it. Shallow end of the pool. You come back, you feel good about yourself, you do your stretches, and now check, you have the win for the day. And that's the win in the sale of success. So it's a small step-by-step process. But you do have to rebrand and rebrainwash yourself. And I will tell you, it's easier when you do it with a teammate. It's easier if you have a mentor. It's easier if you have accountability, right? So the number one reason people hire a coach or a personal trainer, you think it would be to learn exercises. In actuality, it's accountability, right? Because now somebody knows that you know that I know, we all know the same thing. No more secrets, right? Second reason, I'm going to guide you, or someone's going to guide you step by step in this jungle called fitness, health, wellness. You've driven around it, but you've never gone deep into the jungle. Trust me, I live here. I'm Tarzan. I'll take you through it. No problem. I'm not going to walk for you. I'll make you do all the stuff. I'm going to take you through it in the shortest path to get to the results that you want, right? So the expectation is, are you willing to get healthier, fitter, happier, more freedom, more happiness, more joy, more relaxation, right? Yes. Are you willing to do one thing tonight or tomorrow to make that difference?
Yes.
Answer, yes. So the simple solution for today, and my homework for you, is go buy that baking soda without the aluminum. Take a teaspoon, or get some cucumbers and limes and lemons. Big glass of water. And tomorrow's project is drink 2 glasses of that throughout the day. If you feel better, next day drink 3. And so on and so
I
forth.
must have missed this part in the beginning. So it's you go out and buy baking soda.
So the baking soda, what it does is it makes the water alkaline. When the water is alkaline, you absorb all the water and it goes into every cell in your body because your body produces something called ADH, anti-diuretic hormone, which is insulin for water. Without the ADH, you can't absorb the water, which is why when you drink coffee or alcohol, you pee a lot because it's acidic. So your body's trying to get rid of this poison, right? So you're losing fluid in your body. But when you drink alkaline water, you get every drop of that into your system. And when you're hydrated, your body works better, your brain works better, and so on and so forth. And by the way, that's the reason why you get hangovers, because your brain's dehydrated, right? The swelling, you have that pressure, right?
Did you say you get the baking soda locally, or do you have to order that as well?
Every once in a while, Fieldstones has it, so they can carry it, and if you ask them, maybe they'll get it for you. Yep, yep, yes.
But it's the same as
Out of the
water.
out of the
Yes.
faucet water, like Mattapoisett water, is that alkaline?
No. So what you
How
want
do
to
you
do,
know though?
you put a pH, you can get a pH strip, you can buy it at any pharmacy, and put that in the water, you'll see. Okay. But what you can do with that is there's a couple ways to do it. You can get a water pitcher that you can buy on Amazon that takes out the chlorine. We don't have a lot of fluoride in this town, but you want to get rid of fluoride, by the way. I didn't mention that before. You do want to eliminate all fluoride in your life. No toothpaste, no mouthwash, nothing with fluoride. That's going to harden your pineal gland, which is your third eye. Without that, you will not have spiritual wellness, and without that, you'll feel disconnected from source or energy or universe or God or whatever you want to call it, and you'll have this desire to constantly drink more alcohol, drink more coffee, watch more TV to get the artificial form. So the endocrine system up here, your pineal gland and all of the glands there secrete the serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins that make you feel good. But it will only do that if it's not calcified and you have the right frequency of food and hydration and the motion of the lotion to release that.
Well,
So positive motion.
A lot of people do fluoride, regular toothpaste.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that's going to be hopefully changed soon, and I recommend strongly that you do get rid of that. Okay, so fluorine, chlorine, and bromine are neurotoxins. The 3 chemicals that if you put into the ocean, you would be fined a lot of money because you're going to kill all the fish. Okay, and sodium fluoride is the first and only ingredient in rat poison, and rats are used in cosmetic testing for all of our cosmetics that we use. They have the DNA that's 98.5% similar to ours. So if you use that to kill rats, what do you think it's doing to you? And somebody said to me,
used to kill rats?
sodium fluoride,
Which is in
rat poison.
no, but which is in toothpaste.
Oh, toothpaste, mouthwash, stuff like that. Yeah. So also fluoride, if you don't know, is a chemical waste product made by nuclear power plants. When they're making our power, it's a waste product. But they can't dump it into the water because it will kill all life in the water. So somebody figured out that. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. They
babies fluoride.
yes.
No, they stopped doing that years ago, though. Remember we used to have to, but then they stopped it.
Well, think of it this way. Back in the 30s and 40s, doctors used to prescribe cigarettes. It was good for you. And for a short amount of time, for a few decades, everybody smoked cigarettes, all the way into the mid-60s. You couldn't find a movie or TV show without people smoking cigarettes.
It was sexy.
Right. Yeah, and you blow it in her face and she'll be attracted to you. But now we know, and they finally admitted, cigarettes do cause lung cancer and throat cancer, right? Now, tobacco by itself, the nicotine in the tobacco is good for removing venom in your body. So if you get snake bite, the Native Americans would take tobacco leaves and put it on the snake bite. It would pull all the poison out and neutralize it. And you go, well, I don't have to worry about snake venom. Yes, you do, actually. There's venom in lots of things that we ingest, including our medicines and food supplies, that's put there intentionally to make you sicker. I'm not going to go into a conspiracy, but it is. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is parasites. Very important. So everybody in this room, at some point, if not right now, has parasites in your body. A little bit, kind of a lot, or a lot, right? And the way that you know is your pH is going to be very acidic because parasites are, thousands of them are peeing and pooping into your bloodstream. And they're eating all your food. So you're getting no nutrition, plus they're peeing and pooping. That creates a petri dish for diseases, viruses, bacteria, and cancers to grow. So it is not the cause, but it is absolutely one of the correlating causes of all diseases is parasite infestation. So you should, on a regular basis, do an anti-parasite cleanse. I have a list.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
My boyfriend does septics, and when he opens up the cover, there's like bugs.
Well, that's a little different. Those are bed mites. Yeah, that's not good either. I don't have an answer for that one. But so the parasite cleanse, on my website, you're going to see this list of foods that kill parasites, from garlic to all cloves to things like that, right? So the ones that I suggest is going to be wormwood, clove, and black walnut. And you combine those are the three major parasites. And they have herbal formulas that you can buy online or herb store, like Down to Earth would have it. It's a normal thing that's been used for 60, 70 years, but it used to be, hippies do that kind of a thing. But in reality, the Amish do it, by the way. Love the Amish, they do it, okay? So parasite cleansing, it used to be a part of tribal nutrition, because everybody knew, they're barefoot, bare hands, touching stuff. You're going to get parasites from animals. It's just going to happen. If you eat raw fish or sushi, shellfish, you're going to get parasites. So it's not because you're dirty. It's life, right? So don't take it like a personal hygiene thing. This is what happens. But you want to go on a regular parasite cleanse. So this list is going to give you foods that you can use, including garlic. Now, if you eat garlic, do not buy the white garlic at Shaw's. That's got bleach to make it white. The nutritional value is nil. You want to buy the organic ones that are kind of pink with a brown stem. And if you know somebody that grows garlic, I got a garlic guy too. So I got an egg guy and a garlic guy, right? So we eat a lot of garlic for that reason. It's very, very good for you. So please look at this list for the anti-parasite cleanse and make sure that you take a step-by-step process. The other list, anti-inflammatory foods, alkaline foods.
Is that on the website?
Yes, you can just save the photo and then print it out for yourself, okay? Then on this list, you're going to see a pH, well, not that one. You're going to see a pH balance list. So this list is going to tell you what food you're eating and what the pH is. So you want everything, ideally 7.3 or higher. But if you happen to go to a food that's a 6 or a 5, just balance it out by eating something as quick as possible that's like a 9. So I'm not saying only eat from 7 Up, the drink. Don't eat that. Don't drink that, right? I'm saying that when you have a choice, try to choose more from the top list than the bottom list. On the very bottom of the list that you cannot, can someone read this? Because they're superwoman if you can, right? Yeah. At the very bottom, the worst thing that causes pH levels to drop into acidity, can anybody guess? I'll give you $1 million.
Sugar.
Close. Stress. Sugar is number 2. Sugar, stress is number 1. Okay. Talking about sugar, thank you for saying that. I have another list of all the diseases that sugar creates in your body. Excessive sugar is the root cause, or definitely a corroborating factor, in most of the diseases in America. Did you know that Americans use 72% of all pharmaceutical drugs made in the world? We have 17% of the world population. We use 72% of all the drugs. That doesn't make sense, right? We should be the healthiest country in the world. So, leading cause of disease, the sugar, because it is very acidic, and when you're acidic, your body's a petri dish for viruses, bacteria, cancers, and other diseases to grow, and it causes inflammation in a negative way. And you create, when you're acidic, by the way, when you have a cold or a flu, right, and your sinuses are congested, and they tell you, don't drink milk. Have you heard this? Don't drink milk when you're sick. Why? Because milk is acidic. Right? Not raw milk, but regular pasteurized milk is acidic. So when you drink that, you're actually going to make more mucus. And in your body, you don't just have mucus here. You have it in over 100 areas of your body. So when your joints are achy and you've got the flu and I'm achy, that's mucus. That's inflammation. That's lack of circulation. So in a nutshell, everything comes down to making your body alkaline, hydrated, nourished, and circulated. That's the 4 things. And in your mind, make sure you consume positive food for thought. Stop watching regular TV. I'm so old school, I have DVDs I put on. I don't even trust the TV. I put on my favorite DVD program, right? I still have cassette tapes from the 80s. I'm like, I'm not going to let go of these. One of these days it's going to come back. But I'm convinced that if I focus and choose my programming, that's why they call television programming. They're programming you into a low level of fear. If you're in a low level of fear, you're not healthy. If you're not healthy, you're going to buy more drinks, buy this to eat, buy that to watch, buy this to smoke, right? So you have artificial ways to do that. So I'm just suggesting, potentially maybe, if we eliminate or reduce the things that are causing stress in our life, is not improving our health, doesn't add to our nourishment, doesn't expand our consciousness, doesn't improve our quality of life, doesn't make our relationships better. Maybe we can reduce some of that slowly over a long period of time. Or move to a different city and find a new life and start all over again, right? One of those two things, right? Okay, so I'm running a little over, so I have time for 3 questions.
You said you were going to talk about Ozempic and you did.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so Ozempic. In my business, every year on January 1st, there's always a new product comes out, and the joke is that for a long time it was a thigh master, that was the thing. And then for a few years it was a shake weight. So people bought all these things. You buy this one product and you're fit for life. That doesn't work. In the same vein, they always have a diet drug of choice. It comes out, there's a new one every year. Back in the late 90s, it was Fen-Phen and then a couple of other things. They just rebrand it, rename it, right? Here's why it's a problem. Ozempic, when you take it, what it does is it shuts off the hormone that signals that you're hungry. So you don't want to eat. Second thing that it does, it creates what's called gastroparesis. It's exactly what you think it is. It paralyzes your gut. It cannot move. So when you eat, you're going to have massive constipation. And when the gut doesn't move and ambulate, you don't secrete the actual bacteria, the positive flora and fauna that you need to digest the food. Because when you eat food, it sucks it in like a sponge as it moves through the digestive tract. So if it's paralyzed, it's not moving at all. There's no way to absorb nutrition. So what you are doing is effectively starving yourself and paralyzing the key compartment for your health. Your overall health is your oral health and your gut health. That's where health comes from, right? So that's why a lot of patients who've been on it for 3-6 months, sometimes a year, my wife's coworker told her not to do it. She got on it. She's been projectile vomiting for 4 days. Can't stop because she has gastroparesis. Right?
I heard that you have to stay on it. You can't go off of it.
That's what they tell you to make more money, but in reality, you should never go on it to begin with. But if you are, get off as soon as possible. So the natural Ozempic is this. Not easy, but it's this. It's called fasting, right? So if you don't eat anything for 24 hours, your body is then forced to eat what's in your body, including negative bacteria, viruses, and disease cells. If you can go for 72 hours, you will reset the factory settings in the iPad that is you. You will heal every cell in your body. You will feel rejuvenated, and you'll lose a ton of weight. 72 hours. All you got to do is drink water with lemons, lime, and cucumber. Don't eat the cucumber, but just drink fluids. You can use, by the way, in my water, I'll use Celtic sea salt for my electrolytes because I work out a lot, right? So I want to have energy. So I put that in there, and that's my natural Gatorade is water with Celtic sea salt. Okay. So have I done that? Yeah, I've done the 48 hours. I haven't done the 72, but it's a great way, guaranteed to work, 100% safe. You just have to have the willpower to go 72 hours. So I suggest, again, start slow, 24 hours. You can handle that next time, 48 hours. You can handle that, 72 hours. It will do exactly what Ozempic does with no side effects. Plus, you'll save money on food, right? So it's kind of nice. What was I else going to talk about? Another question? Anybody?
What happened to the people that stopped Ozempic when they gained weight?
What happens? Yeah. So the last thing is, when you don't eat food, your body has to get the quickest form of fuel. People go, "Oh, it's just going to tap to your body fat." That's difficult.
It gets your muscle.
It gets your muscle tissue. That's much easier to break down into energy. So where Ozempic patients lose muscle, you go, "Oh, is it in your arms? I could lose a little in my legs." No. First area is your face. I call it the Ozempic face. So what happens is all the muscles in your face atrophy to nothing. All the skin starts to hang. You'll start to see this droopy jowl syndrome, right?
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne started.
Right. So then they go, "Well, I'll get off of it. I'll get the muscles back." No, you won't. some of those muscles will never come back. Have you ever worked out your face? You know how to do it? You know, dumbbell lift your face? How are you going to do it? Right? So some of those muscles will atrophy to a point where they cannot come back. It's going to a catabolic state. Okay? So you will lose a lot of weight on a skill and you'll feel proud of yourself. But because no one taught you that doing fasting once every 2 months will give you the same results long term, if you add that with regular exercise, hydration, proper nutrition, sunshine, fresh air, good friends, laughter, you'll get the same results, but you'll have it for life and you'll feel great in the process. So once again, there is no shortcut. There is no easy fix. There is no one pill. There is no one exercise. You know, I love these trainers online. This one exercise will, you know, tighten your tush and flatten your tummy and make your husband take you on a Caribbean cruise all at once. I'm like, oh, okay, right? So what I'm suggesting to you is when you go onto the website, look at the videos, scroll through. You'll find the ones that are congruent to what I said. But if you find a video and go, oh, that's a stretch I could do using my chair. There's the stretches in the door he was talking about. There's the ones on the stairs. Start there. Do that tomorrow. Drink the one glass of water. What else should I do? Well, let's scroll through the videos. I don't know. Send me a text. What else should I do, Derek? Oh, do this. Try this. Right? Work your way into it.
What's your view on sugar-free soda, sugar-free?
Thank you for asking.
Sugar-free this and sugar-free that.
Yeah, so I just said to you a moment ago, don't eat sugar. It's the root of all evil. Unless you have sugar-free, I'd rather have you have sugar than aspartame, NutraSweet, sucralose. Those are all toxins that cause cancer, 100%. They tested on laboratory rats. It's cancer-causing, okay? So on top of that, you've got the aluminum can. Aluminum is not good for your body as well. But what people don't know is in the aluminum can, there's a plastic lining. So you're getting all the bad plastics into your body as well. And then you have caffeine. And then you have the water that they treated from sewage plants that has chlorine and bleach in it, and probably little pieces of fecal matter. And I'm saying this on purpose, right? And like needles that were thrown into the septic tank and pills, you never know. So literally you're drinking shit and drugs. And I'm saying that intentionally because now if you ever go back to drinking that soda again, you're not going to feel good. So there's a technique that I use in my training sessions.
It works.
Right? So for example, I'll tell you a funny story. I had a client of mine, he was doing really well, and then all of a sudden he started gaining weight again. I couldn't figure it out. I'm real young. And I'm driving down Wareham, Cranberry Highway, and I see his car in the McDonald's parking lot. And I go, oh, that's strange, his car there. So I turn around, I pull in, I sit right next to him, and he's going for it. He's just doing it, right? Got the burger and the fries, the shake, And I'm just waiting, I'm waiting. So finally, I honk the horn. Now he's got sauce over here, one fry hanging out of here, burger in this hand. He turns to me and he goes, Derek, this isn't what it looks like. So this is back when we had the windows that did this. So I go like this, and he rolls the window down, and I said, so John, I never want to have this talk again. Okay? So he goes, okay. So we go back, and wow, magically, all of a sudden, he started losing weight and getting fit and healthy. So what I did, it's called anchoring, and you can do this too. So if you want to stop eating something or start doing something, so you want to stop eating this bad thing, but you want to start doing this good thing, it's real easy. Here's how you do it. And it's good either way. So let's say, what's a food, name a food that you eat that you know is bad for you. Let's do the Diet Coke, because Paul is here. I'm going to help her right now.
I don't even really drink it, but I thought so. I used to, but I quit.
What do you drink? Don't say wine, but something else that you know you shouldn't, or eat that you shouldn't, but you do it because it's...
Donuts. Eat that I shouldn't.
Yeah, name one specific thing. So this is the next part of my show is magic, hypnosis.
Like ice cream.
What kind of ice cream?
Like Oreo cookies.
Okay, great. Where do you get the ice cream?
Stop and Shop.
Okay, you sure you want to stop this? Because let me be sure.
I don't really eat it a lot though.
Tell me something that you eat on a regular basis. It's a little treat. It's naughty. You do it. No one's watching. What do you do?
Little gummy things that my grandkids eat. The Welch's.
Fruit
Snacks.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so here's, and I'm
And
glad
peanuts, and I love peanuts.
peanuts aren't that bad. So let's go with the Welch's thing, okay? All right, so tell me the person that when you're around this person, it could be your grandkids, your heart swells up. You just get so happy and euphoric. And it doesn't have to be politically correct. You don't have to say your husband. You can say anybody. Who's the person?
Steve, I guess.
Okay. Now, name the person. If you had a choice, it could be a client that's not here. If you had a choice, you would never want to see this person ever again.
Mrs. Miller, but she died anyways.
Someone that's alive. Someone that's alive. She's making it difficult for me.
Yeah, I can say it in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it out loud.
Okay, fine. Okay, so here's what you do. Now that she's got the neutral, she's got the food. Then she has the person she loves, and the person that she hates or they hate her or whatever else, right? So here's what you do. Get the actual Welch's thingamajig, right? Just get it. Can you get this person that you don't like so much? Can you actually see them in person? Do you have that option?
What do you mean?
Like meet them physically somewhere for a coffee or something.
Could I?
Why would she?
Here's why.
Does she come here?
Yeah.
Oh, so she comes.
All right, so what you do, or get a photo of her, or get an audio recording of her, or whatever, and you get that person to either yell at you, or you have an audio recording, you look at the picture, and the last time that they were complaining about their bill, and you did this wrong, and blah, 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 and embarrass you, or whatever it may be, and feel the feelings of that person. But before you do that, get the Welch's thing that you like. You go, oh yeah, my naughty treat. You have it out, and start taking small bites, okay? Now you have the Welch's thing here, literally in your hand. Picture the person's face in this hand. And start doing this, and start doing this, and start doing this, and start taking out the knife, and start doing this, right? As soon as you feel that peak feeling of anger, frustration, embarrassment, whatever it may be, do this with your hand, even with the Welch's in the hand. Take both hands, smash them together, and hold them tight. And don't let go. No. But whatever it may be. Now what I'm saying, I'm giving you a metaphor, but this could be for anything. So here's why it's good. Here's why it's good. If the person that you can't stand the most, or the thing you can't stand the most, is very powerful, it will get rid of this thing that's a little naughty. Guaranteed. Or, if you love the Welch's grape thing more than life itself, you're going to suddenly like this person over here that you couldn't stand before. Either way, it's good. My suggestion is, pick the person, place, or thing that you really cannot stand. And you go, well, I love all people. I get it, right? You know, you're Mother Teresa, I'm Gandhi, I get it, right? But this is called anchoring. We do this all the time in commercials. During the Super Bowl, if you watch that, there's commercials. And there always is, there used to be when I was a kid, beer commercials. And it was always a girl in a bikini and a guy that was fit, and they meet and they're dancing and they're walking off in the sunset, and Coors or Bud Light or Amstel or whatever it is. That has nothing to do with the beer. But they anchor in romance, love, sex.
Yeah, so you associate one with the other.
So all I'm saying to you is there's a commercial running in your brain all day long. All you've got to do is anchor in the good things with the love that you have that you should be doing, meaning exercise, eating right, doing the right things, meditation, all the things we discussed, right? So that's how you get to like that thing instantaneously, immediately. With the things that you're doing naughty that you shouldn't be doing, that you know you shouldn't be doing, to get rid of that, you anchor in the pain, the fear, the embarrassment of the worst moment in your life that you never want to experience again. And you smash those two things together, right? So the next time that you're with the in-law that you can't stand, take the foods that you don't want to eat, sit right next to them, and start chomping away. Because I guarantee you're going to feel differently about it. And this is why I intentionally said to you, the Diet Coke has fecal matter, drugs in it, it's got sewage water, it's got this, the plastic. I did that on purpose because now logically you go, that's not good. And then emotionally you go, ooh, that would be disgusting. And then spiritually you go, oh, I can't stand, if I did that again, I would be a fool to do that, right? Throw it away. Throw it away, right? So I'm just saying to you that this is important to do on a daily basis. Systematically get rid of the things that you don't need, that are not benefiting you, by anchoring to something so painful that you would never want to do it again. There's no logic. Everything's emotional, by the way. Everything you do is emotional. There's nothing you buy, purchase, or do that you do because pound for pound, this makes sense. End of the day, your heart says, do it because I'll get more freedom, more joy, more passion, more adventure out of it, or I'm going to get more pain. I'm not going to do that anymore, right? That's why it's so important when you start exercising to anchor that with freedom, joy, happiness, confidence, competence, friendship. Thank you very much. That was a test and she succeeded. Don't throw the wine away. Yeah.
Wine's pretty good. Like, I mean, do you drink wine?
I do drink wine, 1 or 2 glasses on the weekend. So I'm just going to go over, I'm going to pimp this again. On the website, when you go on it, it'll say, do you want to go to the home page after you see all the articles and the videos? So when you click on that, you'll see a link for the Moonlight King, or just go to themoonlightking.com. It'll go right to the site. Okay. The book's available on Amazon, Nook, Barnes & Noble, whatever. It's an excellent book on learning how to reprogram your mind so that you have the highest level of fulfillment spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, and physically. I can't guarantee financially. Yeah.
Have a good night,
Yep.
guys.
So that's called the 5 freedoms in life. Everybody wants intellectual, emotional, spiritual, physical, and financial freedom. That's you grip life and you get the most out of it, right? I cannot teach you about money, but I can guarantee you if you have the first 4, you're probably going to make more money too.
What was the name of the book?
The Moonlight King.
When did you do this?
I wrote this book in 2000
Oh, you wrote it.
and
Moonlight King.
so you'll see. I'll give you the definition. So I wrote the book in 2007. My best friend fell off a building, got paralyzed, became a quadriplegic, and it just like snapped me awake. And then I went into a spiritual journey, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but it was a long journey where I got back in touch with God, if you will. And then I realized what my purpose in life was, and it was not to suffer, it was not to struggle, it was not to be a victim, it was not to survive, it was to become a teacher by actually using the lessons of my life to help other people free themselves from their intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and physical prisons. So that's my main purpose in life, is to help people free themselves. But the easiest way for me to do it is physically first. Teaching an exercise or stretch, that's easy, right? But the longer you stay with me, and my second wife, June, I've been with her for 9 years, but really the longer we stay with each other, the more we work as a team, because you become the average of the 7 people you hang out with the most, right? So I realized the person that was holding me back the most was me. And until I got rid of my trauma and my demons and my pain and my fear, I couldn't totally be what I pretended to be, which was a teacher and educator trying to help people. I was being phony because I was in pain all the time, right? So talking about wine, back then I was drinking lots of wine and lots of, early 2000s, right? So I would say that when I wrote the book, it was supposed to be a forward to a workout video series that I was trying to sell in Korea. So I had one Korean student my whole life. And she said, I want to sell these videos, but no one's going to buy it from Derek DeCosta. So you want to put your Korean name, Yoon Sang-kyun, just write a little sentence saying that you're Korean. I said, okay. So I went home to do that. But when I put my fingers on the keyboard, I went into a 3-week nonstop writing thing. It just kind of purged out of me, all this stuff. And I will tell anybody, if you don't already know, if you want to get rid of your demons, the best way to do it is write it out. Write it out. Talking is good, but writing is even better.
Journaling.
Yes, but slightly different. So one of the steps in any kind of program, if you're trying to get past trauma, the 3rd or 4th step is always write your whole life story, beginning to end, and then write it again, and then write it again. And keep writing it until there's no emotion attached to it. It's just a story that happened. It is not happening. And that's where I came to. It took about a year after I wrote it. I edited the book about 100 times. And first time I tried to tell somebody about it, I broke down in tears. Now when I speak about it, I read a chapter, it's a story. It's not my story anymore, it's a story. And that is a great way to provide therapy for yourself without years and years of sitting on a couch. Get it out of you, right? So that's why I wrote the book, not to write a book, but once I did, a few friends read it and said, this could help people. I'm like, really? You should actually make it into a printable book and then sell it and go around speaking to people. So that's the second thing that I do. So you'll see that on the Moonlight King page. I'm connected with an organization called Hope Unite. They help people who lost family members through suicide and depression. And my book is their key book, and I'm one of the ambassadors that goes and does speeches or talk to people. And there are key steps in there on how to get yourself out of the low level of depression and suicide into the highest level of joy and freedom. It's a step-by-step process. So it's not like step 1, step 2. You'll see it in the different chapters, the lessons that I'm learning. But again, everything I just told you tonight, minus the fitness part per se, that's in the book, including mentors, medias, teammates. That's a key component, right? And so the book is not designed for me to become a best-selling author and make a lot of money, because I can tell you right now, if anybody's written a book, you don't make no money. None, right? You spend a lot of money getting it published, and you'll never make it back for most people, right? So I don't care about that. But what I do care about is if you read the book and it helps you, or you think it can help somebody else, please forward them the link to purchase that book. And all I ask is the book, you enjoy the book, it helped you in any kind of way, please leave a review on either Amazon or my Facebook page. We'll see a link to, and that really, for Amazon for sure. I went from 10,000, I'm now all the way up to 7,340 on the list of personal memoirs that are selling the most amount of books. So I'm getting up there, right? So that's my goal. All right, so please do check that out. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And I hope to hear from you in the future.